Here on Off-Road TV, our team has travelled to Kaluagala to get to this particular racetrack. Today we're here for the third leg of the 4-Wheel Drive Club Championship 2015 so that you can have a glimpse of the competition itself.
Finish line.
At the Kaluagala course, and of course we're about to talk to Team 105 Naveen, who is the co-driver, to find out a little bit about this course and what we can expect today. Naveen, tell us.
We are at actually the third stage of the 2015 4x4 championship.
Right.
So on a typical competition day, there will be 6 special stages. They are called SS for short, and it's usually, if you just look behind me, you see this area that's totally taped out. How an SS works is the vehicle would usually start from a thing called start box. usually the circuit is it's a loop. So you start and finish at the same place, and so the timing clock is there. But you drive it along a taped, marked course.
So it's a controlled environment.
It's a controlled environment. You can't just drive willy-nilly everywhere you want. And there are very strict guidelines. For example, you can't break a tape, you can't break a peg, you can't damage the environment, you can't drive over trees or hit trees or damage trees. All of those result in debits. So typically how it will work is, let's say there are 10 vehicles running it. Each vehicle will run the course individually. So they don't go neck to neck in this particular format. And once they finish, their timings are taken. Then the timings are ranked, say 1 to 10. After that, there's a scale where the person who's first gets 100 points, second gets 95, third gets 90, fourth gets 85. So it goes in 5-point increments. Then laterally it goes in 3-point increments. Then they will they'll first rank you according to your time, then they'll give you the points. So the first guy will have 100 points. But let's say the first person who does the track first, in his enthusiasm, he breaks a tape or he breaks a peg, he is deducted points for that.
Okay.
So for example, if you break one peg, it's 5 points off. So effectively, if I finish it in 1 minute, whereas a guy who's second finishes it in 5 minutes, driving a bit slower, but in my anxiety to finish it in 1 minute, I break 2 pegs, I lose 10 points. So overall, although I have finished it fast, I end up with 90 points.
So you'll be tied with the guy?
No, the second guy will actually be, he'll have 95.
Okay, right.
So it's actually a mix of speed and also control, because as a driver and a co-driver, you want to finish as fast as possible, but at the same time you can't get debit points. I mean, these races are so keenly contested that 5 points will make the difference. So the trick is to finish it as fast as possible whilst within the rules and without making any debit points.
Finish line.
340.
Throw the winch. Throw the cable up. Forget about the engine. Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up forward. Oil. Stop. Stop. Keep it straight, keep it straight. That's right. That's it. Don't dig, don't dig. Don't dig, don't dig. Don't dig. Get the winch to work. That's it. Come up slowly. Come. That's it. Speed. Turn, turn, turn. That's it. That's it. That's it. Almost there. Almost there. Finish. Straighten up. Straighten up. Okay. 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 That's it. Come on. Roll it. Roll it. Roll it. Roll it. Go. 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 Let the wind come. Let the wind come.
Finish line. Finish line.
Take it easy. Can you hear me? Take it easy. Nice. Don't take it up. Keep your left. Keep your left.
On Offer TV, we promised you that we will make a four-wheel vehicle within 6 weeks, or at least we'll attempt to build a four-wheel vehicle within 6 weeks, and you will find out and judge for yourselves if it's possible or not. I think it's safe to say that we've completed about 2/3 of the mission, and we have quite the monster here already. To talk about what we've done so far, here with me right now is Sean. Sean, now last week we said what needs to be done is to place the body and to get to work to start building the body of it. What have we done exactly?
Okay, what we did in previously, we got the chassis frame ready,
Okay.
with the engine
Yeah.
and the drivetrain on, and then we just placed the body.
Right.
So when you change the drivetrain from the non-original standard, when you have a larger engine, you would know the engine is a bit bigger. It's not going to fit into the same body.
Right.
So we need to bring our panel beater here to make sure that the body is cut and made room for the engine and the drivetrain. So you would see like quite a lot of work has gone on our scrap vehicle. So we have made sure that the structure that we want, that he's able to get rid of all the pieces which is in conflict with where the engine is and the gearbox is,
Right.
and basically made room and places that which needs to be covered up. He has done the covering up work. So this is a bare body that you see, which has been just tinkered, and this is going to be the final shape of the car. The doors have come in,
Right.
and also it's rusted doors. So like areas which were like in no need to be repaired, we have made the window a bit bigger. Regulation says that you need to have the door about 6 inches above your seat. Also, in case of rollover, a larger window is easier to get in and out. Here we have cut out the pieces which is rusted. It's
Okay.
like getting rid of rusted pieces, like cutting away. Rust is like cancer, you just keep cutting away.
Okay.
And also, as we spoke earlier, you would have seen like when we got this body was just full of rust, and there was no floorboard, it was just holes. So here we have just got the tinkering work done as per the engine and the gearbox of this one, allowing a lot of room and just covering the whole thing up. So now this structure is ready to accept the engine and the drivetrain of this particular car, where all the areas have been soldered and it's ready for paint. We talked about how the body went in,
Right.
and the next step was the roll cage.
Roll cage.
Roll cage is essentially is a requirement for racing,
Right.
especially extreme class 4x4 racing. And this is actually like in case of a rollover, this is what's going to save your life. So we had to make sure that we do it with at least 4 millimeter thickness pipes, and we make sure that when you have a rollover, your windscreen doesn't cave in, especially above your above your head. This section doesn't cave in, as well as the back also doesn't cave in. So this is what we typically will call a 6-point roll cage, meaning that it's anchored in 6 different points.
Okay.
The strategic points is A, B, and C.
Okay.
So here the important bar is the B pillar. This, if you are building a competition car, do not compromise on this. If you have a mishap, okay, this is what's going to save you. Even your harness, your 4-point harness, which you're going to put in, we're going to put in part of the roll cage. So
Okay.
also you can see we have made additional cross. This is very important to have an additional cross here, because you'll see roll cages on Jeeps on the road, and it doesn't matter how big the roll cage is, or the most important thing is that you have a thick roll cage, and then the structure is such a way that if you have a rollover, it can protect you. So for competition purposes, we make sure the roll cage, this probably would have added another extra 150-200 kilos, but this is something that we cannot compromise.
That much?
Yes, because heavy duty pipe, and also you can see all these pipes on this particular build, it's fitted to where the body is fitted.
Oh, okay.
So it goes all the way
Right.
down to the chassis. So these areas will be finished up, and we ensure that the welds here is nicely seated, and to ensure that this roll cage, the integrity is solid.
format you don't mess with regardless of what vehicle you have? Do you always stick to this ABC format? Is that a given?
Yes, when you go to an international 4x4 competition, or if you go to some of the local competition which is following the international rules, your rules and regulations will say if you do not have a roll cage according to this specification, they will not let you run. Yes, there's somebody called a scrutineer. He will come and check. He is going to check for your safety. The rest of the componentry is going to come after the roll cage. We made room for the important items such as a suspension, which we cannot compromise where we're going to put it.
Right.
But this particular bar is...
We went to the minimum standard, but still safe.
Yes, but it has to be in this position. We cannot alter the position of the, we can, just because we want to have a radiator here or a fuel tank here, we cannot move this back. This has to be right above the driver's head. It doesn't interfere with the helmet, but it's right there. Now we can go on, and like we discussed earlier, the radiator is going to come in the back of this car, the batteries, the fuel tank, and the rest of the stuff is going to come in the back. So now that we have this structure, we can proceed with the rest of the build.
Car report today, we're talking about the Ford Ranger. She looks absolutely beautiful at first glance, but we'd like to get to know her better. To talk about her more, here with us right now is Simidhu of Ford. Hi Simidhu, how are you doing?
Very good.
Tell us about the Ranger. Why is she special? What can she really do?
Well, it can do a lot of things. It's special in many ways actually. It has 5 class leading options. As I told you, it has won the pickup of the year, International Pickup of the Year. And this has the best ground clearance of all categories on the double cabs, 230 millimeters of ground clearance. It has an 800 millimeter water wading capacity, and this 3.2 liter 6-speed vehicle has an 147 kilowatts of power, and we're talking about 200 PS of output. And if you're talking about loading, you can load up to 1.5 tons in this. You can load up to 3.3 towing capacity is there, and also inside the Ford call it the car-like cabin, because I'm sure you might not like a double cab, but when you sit inside, you feel like you're inside a car. And it has the safest double cab, the 5-star safety rating. That's the only cab to have achieved the 5-star safety rating. Well, it has 6 airbags, it has cruise control, it has voice commands, and though it's a cab, it has many features of an SUV as well. So if you get to drive it, you'll probably not notice that you're driving a cab or a car. So that's the Ford Ranger.
Brilliant. There you go, the Ford Ranger for you. She really is beautiful on the inside as much as she is on the outside when it comes to features as well. Thank you so much, Simidhu, for introducing her to us. There you go. There's a new car.